Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. So, today, it's just normal me. Hopefully, you enjoy.
Not Graveyard Princess, Brian.
Yes, not graveyard. So, I was thinking about doing some Instagram filters today, and then I came across one, well, not Instagram, Snapchat rather, and I came across one. It's the Corpse Bride. That's what it was called. And I didn't know its name. I couldn't remember, but Amber, of course, knows. And so I was like, "That's the Graveyard Princess filter." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I showed her the filter, and she's like, "Oh, the Corpse Bride." So, yeah, I guess now I'm going to call that the Graveyard Princess. But let's get started. Our first letter is titled, "Am I a jerk for siding with my parents when they told my sister and her fiance to sleep separately?" I'm a 19-year-old female and I live with my parents, a 52-year-old female and a 54-year-old male. I have an older sister who's 25, and she got engaged to her boyfriend of 6 years, who's a 26-year-old male. Her fiance and her have been living together for 3 years. They got engaged this year. My sister also announced to us a while ago that they are expecting a baby. In our house, there's a strict rule about unmarried couples not sleeping together. I'm sure you folks can see where this is going. And my sister knows that. She left the house 3 years ago since she moved in with her fiance, and she started visiting us for holidays. They live in a different area that is 2 hours away. For the past 3 years, the rule was that they'll sleep in different rooms since they're not official. I don't know how much more official you can get than a baby. My sister was never fond of this rule and always tried to have it her way, but she didn't. This year, she threw a fit because her parents wouldn't let her sleep in the same bed as her fiance, despite the two of them living together for so many years, and despite her being engaged, or them being engaged, and expecting. They got into a huge fight on Christmas Eve, and I sided with my parents, saying that it's their house and their rules, and if she doesn't like it, she can just never visit us again, because she has to respect the hosts, and the most importantly, the people who raised her. She called me a jerk and said that I'm still too young to understand why my parents are doing is disrespectful to her and her fiance. I don't think that I'm the jerk because no matter how absurd the rule sounds, if you visit someone's house, you have to do as they say, period. Some very authoritarian philosophies. But for the sake of collecting some unbiased opinions, am I the jerk for siding with my parents when my sister threw a fit about how disrespectful it is that they won't let her sleep in the same bed as her fiance? Alright, so I want to know why they thought this was a good rule. Like, she's how much more pregnant is she going to get? I mean, surely, like, these rules are designed so that you aren't encouraging like premarital relations, so to speak, right? So, I just don't understand what the parents are smoking here. Like, I don't know. I'm curious what you folks have to say. Do you think this is reasonable? Personally don't think it's reasonable, and I don't think it's reasonable because, like, these two are for all intents and purposes married, right? They don't have like a certificate that says, "Oh yeah, we're legally married," right? But they've been living together for 3 years and are expecting a child, and they are planning on getting married here. There's the marriage at this point in time is a technicality. I mean, that's the way I see it. This is rubbing your religious philosophies in someone else's face. Is the way I kind of view this. And so I think that really the parents are being unreasonable here. I don't think that they should be, punishing them for and by splitting them apart. I think that that's just uncalled for, especially since she's pregnant and she may have different needs than an individual who is not pregnant, right?
Yeah, she might rely on him.
Yeah, she may be relying on him for certain things, and I think that that's important to keep in mind here too. So Yeah, I honestly don't think that OP is in the right here. I think that they should have kept their nose out of other people's businesses and just let the parents and their sister have this disagreement. Like this just seems like someone trying to butt into someone else's affairs here. So, yeah, OP, mind your own business is what I have to say here.
Or side with your sister.
Or side with your sister. Amber's like, you can not mind your own business as long as you're siding with your sister. That's fine.
Because the parents are jerks.
Yeah, well, I do agree the parents are being jerks here. So yeah. Anyhow, take care and good luck. You're the jerk. You told her that she can either follow their rules or never visit again, which is very weird. She's pregnant, engaged, and clearly sleeps with the man regularly. They travel 2 hours to sleep at someone else's home because of the holidays, and they're being forced to sleep separately because why? What are your parents afraid of? I know. Be careful. One day your parents will no longer be around to host things like this. Don't make an enemy of your sister. Wise information. This is stupid thing of not wanting their kids to have premarital relations before marriage, or that relationships can't be serious before that. It's actually hilarious until your ex-girlfriend's parents were exactly the same. I hope you and your parents enjoy never having them to visit again. Yeah, I mean, this is really all this is going to encourage, is them basically to be like, you are being heavy-handed and authoritarian.
Okay, what if the baby is born and they're still not married? Are they all going to separate then?
Yeah, Amber's like, what happens if the baby's born and they're still not married for one reason or another? Are they still going to enforce this rule at that point in time? I think this is kind of silly. Like, yeah, they've respected the rules for the last couple of years, but there's a point where it becomes absurd, and I think that this has reached that point, to be quite honest. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling a Coworker That Her Choice of Name for Her Twins is Idiotic? Now, you'll notice this one's rated as not the jerk. Trust me, you'll want to sit in for this one, folks. I cannot believe that there is a split opinion for this at my office, but here we go. A coworker of mine, a 39-year-old female, recently had twin boys after a long battle of infertility. She made her first appearance into the office with her new babies and introduced them to our team. When asked what she had named the boys, as up to this appearance she was undecided, she told me that she was naming them Sean. When I asked about the other baby, she said no, they are both Sean, one with an A and one with an E. So Sean, Sean, and Sean, Seen.
Which is seen.
The coworker's last name is also Sean. When When I pointed this out, she said, yes, it's like Tom Tom or JJ. I immediately and without thinking said, that's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. And it's going to be so confusing. A bunch of people laughed and a bunch immediately looked away. After she left, I got a few text messages saying that it's not my place to comment on people's choice of name. Am I the jerk for saying that the name is a terrible naming idea? And additional information. No, they don't have middle names. She wanted them to be like Tom Tom or JJ. This is apparently not the first round of negative feedback that she's had. We are in good terms and we've worked together across 3 companies over 12 years. She just said, it'll grow on you. The names both are pronounced Sean, like Shwan, Sean. Edit and update. My co-worker's husband, who is also a co-worker, saw the post last night. They had a good chuckle and ended up agreeing with the replies that naming process wasn't ideal and maybe the overwhelming process of having 2 new babies born left them too tired to think. That's pretty good, a good charitable interpretation. Despite the fact that they had already sent off the paperwork to the Births and Deaths and Marriages office, the place that you lodge births in Australia, they called the Bisbane office and the paperwork had only been previously processed due to Christmas time, and they've had this time to reassess. They have withdrawn the paperwork for Sean with an E only and will think of a new name, but are keeping Sean Sean as they like it. I have also been reported to HR for making this Reddit post, not by the parents. They think it's hilarious. So, well. If it isn't the consequences of my actions. They also want everyone to know that calling her an idiot isn't the worst thing that I've said to her this year, and while I'm definitely the jerk, That's more of a general thing than tied to this situation. Happy holidays to everyone. All right, folks. This one is, I think, hilarious. Like, they named their kids Sean Sean. Their prerogative. I think that OP had a reflexive reaction here. They were like, that's just plain dumb. That's going to be confusing for the poor kids. And I think that if they want to name their kids Sean Sean, that's their prerogative. But if they're naming both of their kids Sean Sean, that's just going to be plain confusing, right? What are they going to do? Like when they were calling both kids, be like, Sean with an E, Sean with an A, at that
Sean
point.
with two E's.
Sean with two E's, yes. A Sean, E Sean, or something like that. Then you're giving your kids a new like name essentially, right? A new way to identify them. And it would be very confusing and very hard to kind of like, because they're also going to be in the same classes, presumably. They're twins, right? They're going to literally be haunted by each other's names for their entire growth. The teachers, imagine the poor teachers, how they're going to have to deal with a Sean Sean and a Sean Sean.
Well, and since one of them would have been spelled seed, it would be Sean and seed.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where I think that OP was right to voice some concern about the situation to the parents and be like, this is going to be super confusing. Maybe you don't want to do this. So I'm glad that they've at least renamed one of the kids. So, I mean, if they like Sean Sean, that's fine, right? I mean, it's maybe a little peculiar, but it's not like so over the top that I think the kid will resent it forever. But I think naming both kids Sean would have been just like too much. Just way too many Seans. So anyhow, take care and good luck. I'm going to get downvoted for this, but not the jerk. I'm an identical twin. Matching names is probably the cruelest thing you could do to a person. It's not just confusing, it would keep the twins from developing identities outside of their twinness. You know what happens when twins can't establish their independent identities? At best, they need years of family therapy to work through the relationship problems. At worst, they hate each other. Twins have it hard enough working through what it means to be a twin. Why make that harder? Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for getting a man fired for telling my toddler to shut up? I'm a third owner of a company with two friends from college, Mike and Eric. I run the technology side of things, so I'm not the face of the company, so I rarely go into the office. I have a 4-year-old daughter whose father is Mike. We have never been in a relationship and chose to co-parent our daughter. Mike got into a car wreck that required surgery. Eric was out of town. My nanny is on holiday break, so it's taking care of my daughter and trying to run a company. There's a project that Mike's working on in the office, and I have to grab it and a portable server. My daughter is already upset because she knows her dad is hurt. Getting her loaded into the car and to go into the office was messy. She refused to wear matching boots and is in an elf and it is in a elf outfit. That's an adorable outfit. At this point, I'm like, whatever, let's go. The whole time in the car, she's crying and upset. I get her to calm down because I told her that we would grab some things from work. I meet our VP of operations, Adam, and everything is fine until my daughter realizes that she left her dinosaur in the car. She will not be appeased. We are in Adam's office trying to get everything together to take care of my home office. My kiddo will not stop crying because Sarah, the dinosaur, is in the car alone and Sarah might not be able to breathe. Adam and I are like, it's okay, Sarah, it's fine. I'm mortified and I want to get my kid back to the car and home. Adam has to run to the AITA department to grab a few more things for me. My daughter is in total toddler meltdown over Sarah the dinosaur. A man walks by and tells me to shut my kid up. This is an office, not a daycare. I had it. I told him this wouldn't be his job if it weren't for this child's father or me. And he could be the one shut up or find a new job. Adam comes back and the man starts yelling at Adam about how he's trying to work and my kid and I won't shut up. He told Adam that he needed to get me out of the office. I'm like, this is my office and if you don't like it, you can leave. Adam agrees and says that I'm the owner and there's nothing he can do. The man walks back to his desk. Adam tells me that he will handle it, wishes me good luck with the project and sends my daughter out. Adam fired the man for insubordination because the situation did not get better after I left and he made some sexist remarks about women in business. I get it wasn't one of my best days, but I'm trying to run a company and take care of my daughter in a stressful time for her. The man was rude, and to be honest, no matter who I was with, shouldn't be telling a child to be quiet or shut up. All right, so there's one comment here that I'm going to read before I do mine. I think any one of us would have been silently mad if we were trying to work and there was a crying kid in the office. The difference is we would have kept our mouths shut, especially if we didn't know the circumstances and kept it moving. This guy was bold. Even after he realized that he had walked into hot garbage, he kept at it. It was obvious that he was committed to getting fired that day. I doubt you could have stopped his steady march towards the unemployment line, OP. Oh, I think that summarizes it best. Okay, so you are juggling a bunch of things and you brought your daughter into the office and it's kind of over the holiday seasons. And I think that this man, he didn't know how to keep his mouth shut. Maybe he's having a bad time, maybe he's having a hard day. But that doesn't excuse his behavior. And then on top of that, after you leave, he then still continues to badmouth you, even though he knows that you're the owner of this company. So I think that he kind of made his own problems here. I think that he walked into this situation knowing at a certain point that doubling down could not possibly go well for him, but he continued to double down. So honestly, I don't know what you could have done more in this situation. Like you couldn't have left your daughter at the office, and I'm sure, I mean, at home. And that's really what this boils down to. You had an unfortunate situation. This wasn't something that's happening like every day. You're not bringing your child in and having her sit in the middle of the office every single day and cry her head off, right? That would be cruel. But also probably unprofessional. And the thing is that this is, a rare situation and it isn't something that happens all the time. And I think that he was having a bad day and he tried taking it out on the wrong person. And he created his own problem. So let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.